whole fucking diseased, corrupt temple down on your head. It's gotta be biblical.
Hello and welcome to Patriots Across the Pond and Friends, Red Pilling Renee, and we are up to episode 9. How are you guys?
Can you believe it is 2.5 months we've been doing this?
I can't believe it's episode 9.
I know.
I still remember crying in the shower.
I know.
Yeah, which is interesting because I was confronted. You know, we're facing this whole, Iranian war.
Military action.
Of course. And out of nowhere, Melania brings up Jeffrey Epstein again. I'm trying to make sense of that. Why now? Why now? What is
movie narrative?
Yeah, I mean, just bringing it back to Epstein again.
Yeah, well, don't forget. It told us in drops 4 and 6 in 2017 that POTUS must remain neutral as people begin to be indicted. So what we want to hear Trump saying probably won't come from Trump. It's going to come from all the people around him. So maybe Melania has just come in to add her little bit, because she's basically in that little 5-minute speech, she's urged Congress now to get involved and start doing their job.
Right. I saw that.
Yeah.
This is what I expected earlier, but better late than never.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's I think a lot of times people completely lose faith in everything when nothing gets done. It's like we gain information, like, oh my God, what is this? And then nothing happens. And then it creates, it makes people feel completely powerless. It makes them feel like, they're just like literally watching a movie and nothing happens. There is no justice. There is no consequences for bad actions. And that destroys, I think, civilization. I think it destroys society.
Yeah, but there's different aspects to this because the people that follow Q they're a little bit like hurry up, but they understand the process and the plan. People are not following Q, but just are MAGA and they want these things to happen, are getting frustrated. But I think this is all being done on purpose. We the people have to rise. So the more that the normies see all this shit going on, they've got to make a stand and say, hold up a minute, there is a 2-tiered justice system. There is this, there is that going on. The people have to demand accountability.
And let me tell you something really interesting, because yesterday, I don't know if you were able to watch the show that we did with Lee Dundas. Lee Dundas is an attorney.
I saw some of it. I did. And it struck home. It really did.
Yeah.
Especially the part that it's a problem everywhere. Anywhere that's got like a motel.
Right.
Like
Right.
it's you can't say it's their problem. It's everyone's problem.
It's awful. So, like I've been at this for a long time, as has Stu. There are certain shows that we do. They literally, I have to decompress after them. You know what I'm saying? Even though like I know this stuff, I couldn't get the vision last night out of my head. Like I was trying everything to distract myself, and it just kept haunting me of one sentence she said, which was how they will, drug these girls and rape them like 20 times in a row. Like they just knock the life out of them. Then they send the cops in. And if they try to appeal to the cops, like I just couldn't get that out of my head. I still can't. But there was something she said that really hit home even more. She said, I worked on a task force of all people. Now, here in New York, we've got Suffolk County has a task force. Nassau County used to have one, and they don't have one anymore. So I'm thinking to myself, I go on my podcasts, I bring people on, I bring truth, but that's an example of something that everybody should check into in their own county or town or whatever. Is there a local task force? Are people that are not corrupted working together to try to figure out how to, investigate things around that look fishy, place for people, for victims, for whistleblowers who know what's going on to go to, and most importantly, ways that we can start to change the legislation locally about what is done. These people, in my opinion, if it's proven, kill them. Just they don't deserve to get a bullet in the head, quite honestly.
I'm going to just tell you from my perspective why I think nothing is happening. All right. So I fly into Fort Lauderdale Airport sometimes. I'm here in Miami right now. And there's signs everywhere about human trafficking. Everywhere. But they don't define what it is. They don't define what is happening to these people. They just kind of like say human trafficking is happening. Be on alert. So most people look at it as like, the hell does that mean? What is human trafficking? I mean, if you and I'm a lawyer. I mean, it's a word. It's really a term of art. Human trafficking. It can mean a whole constellation of meanings.
Right.
I think they need to define what the hell it means. If they go as far as Epstein file level shit, now you're cooking with grease. If they say, be on the lookout for human traffickers, these people put girls and boys into prostitution against their will. They are taken for their organs. They are taken to the global elites for satanic rituals. Like if they define it like at the airport, instead of just human trafficking.
Well, who's they? See, that's the point.
The government. The government.
No. We cannot depend on the government. That's what this whole movement is about. It's about you and me and Stu and everybody else saying we are now going in and demanding these changes.
It's so easy for them to like tell their constituents, look, we're against human trafficking. We're against it. Look at the airport. But they never say what the fuck they're talking about. Because once they tell you, then it strikes home. Then you're really looking. Otherwise, it's like, oh, look at this beautiful artwork.
It's coming. That is the flood. We are still in the drip phase. Right? Because you cannot look how it affected you. You can't just push frazzle drip out to everyone when they have no idea what's going on. You have to wake people up over a long period of time, right? So that when they put this stuff out, people are accepting of it, embarrassed that they didn't look at it before, etc. But you know, the plan we look at, and we don't know the plan, but what we've seen unfolding over the last 10 years is we are getting close to that moment you're talking about. I mean, human trafficking is basically modern day slavery of all different forms, isn't it?
You start with that. You start with that statement, and then you break it down, like everything that it could mean. You know, what's very scary to me is, you know, I'm thinking about, you know, Gaza. I'm thinking about war-torn Israel and Iran. How many people are being harvested for organs? You know, that's a huge business, organ trafficking. You know, children taken from their families. Like, we have no idea the atrocities that are going on right now in any area that is war-torn. You know, Ukraine.
What do you think the reason they do that? Right? It's really sick, but I have a challenge for you and me, and I know you have more on your plate, and so do I. But, you know, I went to college with the district attorney here in Nassau County, and Donnelly. And I think we should pay her a visit and say, what is Nassau County actually doing about human trafficking? It's not just, you know, these losers and these, you know, immigrants. We've got guys, okay, probably some of them in this office that are raping little kids in their free time when their wife goes away.
So I think to do that, you show them in, you know, you get case studies, like examples. Like,
you don't think they know?
No, I know, but like if you present it, like if a common person presents it, it's like, look, this happened in Hempstead, this happened in Syosset, this happened, you know, in different towns. Look. What is being done so this doesn't happen again? Because, you know, in law we have the concept of notice. You know, you're on notice that this is happening here. This type of trafficking here. This other type of trafficking here.
Yeah. Well, if you just take, for example, the motels, right?
Hold on, let me just respond to this text.
Sure.
Because perfect.
I guess my point is this. My point is that these politicians, and I'll give you an example right here in Nassau. Okay, we've got Bruce Blakeman, who's the county executive, right? That has allowed him, for whatever the reasons are, that now he's running for governor, right? We're having an event in Nassau County on all these subjects: geopolitics, military, understanding the current military situation, human trafficking. We've got survivors. We've got people working in the industry. Okay, I've emailed his office numerous times to get the person under him, to get the next person under him. Okay. And now the only reason he's got some kind of, you know, platform to be able to run for governor is because we voted him in to be the you know, executive. So he got, you know, people knew him, right? So now you have an event going on in Nassau County. You don't even say, well, this is my base, right? No, they're too busy. I have another politician, I'm not even going to name names, in Queens, who we have personal like relationship with. The office doesn't even answer back. They don't. It's very clear what we're doing. I'm a good communicator and an excellent writer. I've put it all there. No answer. So I say either they don't give a shit or they're part of the problem and they're doing something, that they're covering something up. So that's why I'm saying I think the time for going in nice and, oh, I have some evidence, and fuck you. You know what's going on. You see it. Don't tell me these assholes aren't on your radar. Don't tell me that you don't know what's going on in Suffolk County, because they're doing as much as they can do. From what I can see, they've got a good task force out there. What are we doing here? We're 20 minutes from Kennedy Airport. We're a short train ride from Manhattan. You have cyber security. You go into schools and you tell, they came into my kid's school. Well, you got to be careful because you can, get groomed, and they have all these people on the internet. What else do you think is going on the internet? The people are ordering Domino's pizza. Yeah. And they're getting little kids delivered to them. I am so beyond going in nicely. What are you doing? Are you taking a look at all these motels? Look at these sleazy motels we have all around, right? Just look at the towns all over. Who's staying in these motels? Are your friends coming into town staying in a sleaze bed? No. So who's using?
Well, I mean, I was a college student at some point, at least. But one gets tired of the car.
But okay, so there's an element of afternoon delighters. Okay, let's put it that way. But what you're not noticing when 14-year-olds come in, 15. Right. Come on, if someone's 18, 20, 25, they're going in, they're having their fun. Okay,
right.
You don't notice an old guy.
No, it's bad.
So I think that's what we need to do. We need to say, not prove you tell us, you work for us, you get paid by us, you get elected by us. What are you doing here in Nassau County? How do I know that if my kid isn't out on the street, some asshole isn't going to grab her and throw her into a car and I'm never going to see her again? Because she's going to get drugged and raped before I have a chance to, know where she is. So I'm saying we have to stop depending on these fucking assholes, and we need to put a bunch of us together and say, let's try to figure this out and get them to do their job.
So one thing I've noticed in the country, they do like different laws, like Megan's law, like the X law. They always get like something has to happen, and it was in front of their faces all the time. Like, this is gonna happen. But until there's a Megan, until there's a Jamie, or until there's a victim.
They've been catching people all over with human trafficking rings on Long Island.
But they haven't given it a name yet. They haven't made it sexy yet. They have
that's what we got to wait for. So little kids could get anally raped and abducted because because why? They know what's going on. Maybe the average person doesn't, to the extent. Look, they know.
I know.
A lot of this is being done covertly to protect the children and save as many children as possible. You make an alert out there, we're coming for every child trafficker sort of things, and they take the children underground, they hide. You know what I mean? It's like, we know that we've been told in the Q drops, 80% of this is covert and 20% we might see public. Right, out in the open with the Trump comms and all this stuff going on, and Iran and Israel and etc. But there is a lot going on behind the scenes. All the time people were worried about COVID and doing that, and people were being locked down in their homes. The military was working their way around the world, taking out these underground dumps and bases and tunnels, or so we've been led to believe and told by people who say they're in the know.
We hope that they're doing this.
Yeah.
But it gets to the point where
you can't lose faith because that's what they depend on. That's what,
and
also just because they're doing what Stu said, which I firmly believe, because we have a lot of whistleblowers and people that are in the know. However, you still have the slime ball fuckers who are in our neighborhoods who do this shit. And we think we live in a nice, it's a bedroom community. Houses start at 1.5 and property taxes are 30 to 40,000 and the schools are the best in the country and this, that, and the other thing, right?
You had to remind me.
I know. I went over the border and got rid of my $33,000 tax. But my point is, Stu, we know that according to what Lee Dundas said, and she's done a lot of research on this and has a lot of statistics, these are guys like you. I mean, professional, good-looking families that are doing this shit.
I mean, look, what was the name of that guy? I think he was over there. Was it something Fritz or something like that kept two children in his basement for about 30 years? That was the story that came out. Do you remember
that?
That could be going on everywhere.
That was crazy.
Yeah. And we've got, Dr. Harold Shipman, a doctor over here who people are going to see him. He murdered about 150 people, didn't he? This is a doctor.
It's crazy.
You've got sick fucks everywhere.
Crazy. And as a person who can't comprehend some human being doing this to a person, like I can't understand what would motivate anyone or anything to do this. It's madness to my mind. I mean, how does a person who was raised by their mother, given breast milk, eventually went to kindergarten, went to school, played sports, turn out to do all these atrocities?
Right. Well, some of them were victims themselves. Okay. So we're not making excuses, but that's how they were raised, right? So they're going to do this. Others of them, I agree with you. I mean, if you saw I was like on fire yesterday. I'm like, my theory is round these fuckers up, put them in a square, pour lighter fluid on them from above, and fucking burn them. And that's it. Then we move on.
That's more dramatic. I just wanted like a public hanging. That's probably better. Your method's better. I like it.
I mean, you hurt a child. Listen,
treat them like matches.
Yeah. Louisiana now has that castration law. Okay.
Great.
Florida's imposing now the death penalty for anyone who molests a child. Like, but we have to like, whatever there is we could do, we need to do that too. Because I just saw a headline today that somebody murdered, I don't remember what it was. The district attorney announces someone got murdered. Okay, I understand. That's great. Get these people off the street. I don't see too many, things happening about how they're, even if it's undercover right now and they're trying to get these people and they don't want to alert them. I still don't see a lot in the news about what is happening, like for people, like you said, education, understanding, how do you know, like, what are the signs if you think a kid might be being trafficked? What if you see a strange dude, and you got a feeling, what if what's being done for that? And you have a daughter now, right? She's 16. Okay. 17. That's right. Mm-hmm. When my kids were around 16, 15, I did tell them, I said, look, I don't want you doing all kinds of shit, but I don't care where you are. I don't care what you did. You call me. Don't ever be afraid to call me. Right. Because that's the trouble kids get in when they're afraid of mom and dad. Listen, you may get the shit kicked out of you in a week, but at that moment, I'm going to embrace you and come wherever you are,
So they've come out with some ads, which I've watched, which is like a step in the right direction. So for the first time, I'm 54. For the first time in my life in the last year, I now know, like, if a girl or a boy goes like this, like kind of like,
it's like that.
Yeah.
This.
Yeah.
That means I have a problem. Come help me. Yeah. Like I didn't know that until now. So like, at least they're doing it now.
Absolutely.
At least they're putting the best, like, if you see this, it means that person's in trouble, interfere, call the authorities, get involved. Someone is being held against their will.
Yeah.
That's something.
English Hawk just said local vigilante groups, militias will eventually be necessary. Yeah, maybe, but maybe the reason the military and the fighting forces and all that are doing it the way they're doing it is so at the moment we haven't got vigilante groups ever pulling what they think to be guilty people but innocent people out of their houses. That would descend into civil war quite quickly if you have vigilante groups everywhere. And the whole point of this operation, I believe, is to negate any sort of civil war.
I mean, I think that's always the goal, because if you have a civil war, then you have bigger problems.
Yeah.
Everything falls apart. So, I guess I get that, but they need it if they really want this to be effective.
Don't forget the cabal has done everything they can to create civil war by putting black against white,
right,
Muslim against Christian, gay against straight. This is all they ever do, is divide and conquer.
So how are we doing with the cabal? Is the cabal getting their ass kicked yet?
I believe so. I believe they've had it kicked.
Can we kind of like go? I'm always interested in how we're doing, like a score sheet.
Well, we'd all have to know that.
Yeah, because I'm still trying to figure out who the cabal is, and every day I kind of like learn a little bit more. But I'm always trying to figure out who's winning this existential battle between good and evil. Because at the end of the day, that's probably kind of like everything, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, I believe the head of the snake was cut off. The 13 bloodline families were taken out on Christmas Eve 2016 going into 2017, potentially. That would have then allowed Trump to go around the world doing his capitulation tour. Because if you haven't got a satanic master above you, you then can find the power to go, okay, we're going to join this plan. Since then, people have been taken out, rendition flights, all this sorts of stuff. Actors have been put in their places, nasty ones arrested, taken out, and they've been picking off people ever since. We've still seen loads of criminality out there, right? But these people are just wankers, basically. They don't really have masters. They're just horrible fucking cunts. You know, people that go out stabbing people and beating people up and this sort of thing.
Right.
These people are going to be mopped up. I think they're all being tracked and everything, but you have to take the hierarchy pyramid structure away from this in certain points and steps as you take this behemoth down, you know.
Have you guys heard the kind of like shocking speech that Trump gave that he talked about with Iran? If these things aren't met, an entire civilization.
Yeah, we talked about that. We think
can you explain this to me? Because civilization.
Yeah,
that's like a strange choice of words.
Well, let's look at Iran. Okay, Iran is Persia. It has an enormous history, an enormous sense of pride. If you talk to a lot of these Iranians who probably prefer to be called Persians, that have come over to the United States, they have absolutely nothing good, and I will say extreme bad about Islam and about how it was forced on them and how they were hijacked with this so-called religion. Okay. Right. So if you take that and then you have, women taking off their burqas and all this stuff, because if you go down the rabbit hole of Sharia law and all that, it's pretty disgusting. Okay. I think, and I may be misquoted, someone in the chat can tell me, but women are equal or below animals. It's okay to rape them. Like they have all these rules. Okay. And it's a conquering belief system. So you have all these people over there who it was forced upon them. Okay. And now they're coming out of it. So we were chatting. Who are we chatting with about this? That we looked at it from a very different standpoint, that civilization may be that they're going to wipe out this whole Muslim aspect of and go back to the Persian history and the Persian freedom that they had. So I don't think he's talking about killing people. I think he's talking about the ideology and what that has brought. And that. So
let me because I'm now searching in this kind of like the same corners of the world that y'all are. There was one person who I tend to respect his opinion. His name is like, it's a strange, it's almost like a native name, like White something White Feather or White. I don't know. This guy seems to be really dialed in. And he says that the civilization is the old financial system.
Could be.
Like it's going to be destroyed. We're going to destroy the old financial system.
Makes sense.
Because it's just, because I know they're always talking in code. So it's a lot of it. I mean, with that amazing guest you guys had that we discussed last week, which I'm hoping that the four of us could be on the show, because I would just sit and be like,
Yeah.
what was that? 3 + 3 is 52? What? Yeah, so that kind of made sense to me.
Yeah. Don't forget, it's 5D chess, so it could multiple meanings. You know, there's multiple meanings. There are no mistakes with the words they use, with how they express it.
No,
And
but they know amongst themselves what this means.
yeah.
You know, and the dark side of that is crazy too, because that's the whole, Jeffrey Epstein talk, the pizza and the everything, all the code language that they use. It's kind of weird that people are having conversations and we don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you see, Trump makes posts like that, and the people that are not looking into things immediately think he's going to extinguish all the Iranian people. That's what they think.
That's what civilization means to people.
Yeah, we don't see that at all.
It's like he's going to nuke Iran. He's going to nuke them.
Right.
No, he's destroying. It's like in COVID. He said we are fighting an invisible enemy. He didn't say we are fighting the COVID-19 virus. He said we are fighting an invisible enemy. This is what Trump does, right? So we are going to eradicate a complete civilization. Maybe that civilization is the cabal, and every cabal outlet and thing they've done to us, whether that's creating Islam as well. And these
do you have the whole quote? Do you have access to the whole quote?
I could find it. Yeah, I just want to.
If you did, I'd love to kind of play with it, because it seemed like really important at the time that I read it, and it seemed very strange.
Yeah, we could go over it.
Like the way he kind of said it was like.
I want to just add something to what Stu said before, Stu, because I know Renee, you were talking. I personally, again, my opinion, right? I personally believe that the head of the snake was potentially taken out before 2016. And the reason is, if you happen to watch that movie documentary that I sent you, I don't know if you had a chance. I keep forgetting the title of it, Stu, the one that we watched together.
Dawn is on the horizon. Oh no, so I'll get it in a minute.
Yeah, on the horizon. Anyway,
change is on the horizon. Dawn.
That was like whatever it was, 3 hours or so in 3 parts.
He doesn't do homework.
What?
He doesn't do homework.
I know.
I mean, listen, I've been known to wing it.
No, but listen, that one. No, let me tell you something. That one will show you, and it will blow your mind, because to me and to Stu, who watched it with new eyes, I mean, even after like 6 years, 5 years, we have new eyes. And we're looking at this going, holy shit. We're looking at things that happened in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And we're hearing today about the war. We're hearing about all these things that are going on. And Stu and I are like, no fucking way. The war was physically fought in these decades. The infiltration, you're watching this movie and going, okay, I could see where the cabal gave a shot. Now we see where the white hats gave a shot. Now we could, and then you start to wonder, we're watching this going, holy crap, we thought that was a bad guy, and maybe he was, but were they infiltrated and now he's working for the white hats? That's why you have to watch it, because you have open eyes now.
Yeah, I watched that film for the first time about 16, 17 years ago.
Yeah, and you see it differently. And now we're like, oh my God. And then they're talking about the clones that were in place, like that Reagan was actually murdered.
I'm flying back to New York Sunday morning with just my daughter. Okay. Everyone else is coming Monday. So you know what that means? That I have all of Sunday to look at this stuff.
Just watch it, please, before I have to get pissed off at you, because
the beauty of it is that you can kind of get in your car and come over, and you can kick me or you can watch it with me, whatever you want.
Yeah, down there, Elisa. That meme, hold his eyes open.
Karen, read the label. But
I have great speakers. I have a big TV. You can just
My point is this. I watched it with George. George was like, oh my God. And then like I have to stop it because I was like, remember this, remember that? Oh my God, look at this, look at that, look at what's happening yesterday. Look, here's my point. I think, and then from some of the insiders that we, you know, supposedly, allegedly are saying, I think this was all done. And then they had to play out the movie. Now, what are they doing now? If I had to give it a title, mop up operations. They're mopping up the last of the shit. They're going in under. You cut off the head of the snake. What's left? The minions that get all their direction. The assholes that are just low on the totem pole who did the bidding for these decision makers.
So it's amazing how everything really may be theater.
Yeah, that's what we believe.
Yeah, I mean, look, I've sent you a couple of things, and I know you've seen them. There's two blue ticks in there in that red pilling RENE, our little freeway Telegram chat. I sent you that hour of the debriefing talking about this Bitcoin operation and how it was a massive sting operation. So interesting. I posted 11-minute video about that farming, which no one wants to watch, but I think you should watch because it's an eye opener. We all have to watch these things, and then I will add in there this 3-hour documentary for you as well, and I will leave it at that, so you can watch.
I've sent him twice, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Now, look, I just want to say one thing.
It's really sunny out. I mean, it's really kind of nice.
Yeah, he's one of those kids that looks out the window where you're trying to talk to him, isn't he?
I don't know how in the world I was such a good student. I don't know how. I guess I don't learn like everyone else. Like I just take in my environment through different sources and kind of like create it in my mind. Like it's like you give me a book, I'll read a few pages, but I'll listen to the class.
Right.
I'll listen to the professor and I'll kind of like come up with my own analysis. Because, you know, if it's in a book, it's really someone else's analysis, right?
Well, that's what we're saying. If you watch, you're getting our analysis right now. So if you watch some of these things that we direct you to watch, you may come back next week and go, you guys, you didn't see this, or you didn't notice that. Like, yeah. And then that elevates our like understanding of things.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to Sunday night, because it's going to be me and my daughter in the house. We have the whole house to ourselves. We're going to watch it together. I'm going to put it on. It's like, Franny, I'm going to actually put it on my phone, watch the movie, watch it, watch the documentary.
Now, just going to say this before we move on, because I want to go and find those Trump truths, but I've been on this page. Oh, that's the wrong one. You're watching a movie.
Apparently, we're watching a movie.
We are watching a movie. Now, let me just tell you something that's happened recently, which might suggest we are watching a movie. Over the Easter weekend, supposedly, allegedly, a pilot got shot down, right? Over in Iran, and they went to do a rescue mission.
The F-16.
Right? Okay. So he was shot down on a Friday, Good Friday. He was hidden in a cave, a crevice, all of Saturday, and he was rescued on a Sunday.
By finding his heartbeat? They found his heartbeat? I guess he had like a homing device, and they could.
No, he had a homing device, son.
Yeah, and they could find, like, he didn't have to speak, but they could. I mean, I guess.
Whatever. Yeah, exactly.
I guess.
But the point of that is, he went down on a Friday. He hid in a cave, and he was resurrected on Sunday.
You can't make this shit up.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Stu! What are you doing to me, bro? What are you doing to me?
It's there. Is that a coincidence, Renee?
That makes for a hell of a movie. I think some super intelligent aliens are eating a lot of popcorn.
But we see these things all the time. We've been seeing them for 8, 9, 10 years.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Let me just give instructions to my office to prepare me, because I unfortunately have court at 9:30. I sent a text. I have court at 9:30 today.
Oh, we didn't know that. Is everything okay?
No, I have court. I'm a lawyer. Yeah, I send you a text. Maybe.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, it is what it is, you know?
I know. I'm
We
sorry.
do what we can do.
Oh, what? We have an early shoot today, are we?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, that's right.
The other attorneys in my office they're casually on vacation this week. So even though I'm on vacation, the buck stops.
Yeah.
Buck stops here. So, I've been getting all the work done, which has been fine. I've been having a great vacation, great time. But I have to divide myself like an amoeba.
Okay, wait, what is this? Yes, hair therapy. I don't know if you have to see that comment. It says, yes, the guy's name was Dude 44, LOL. And yes, they found him with a heartbeat, and the thing was made by Lockheed.
Yeah. Yeah, so Lockheed Martin, those are the guys with the skunk works, right? That's the super advanced labs with essentially alien technology. When anything that's like stealth comes out of Lockheed Martin. I have a feeling those guys are connected to the what are they called?
Palantir?
Not Palantir, the guy, the white aliens. What are they called?
The Greys?
No, the white ones. The
Pleiadians.
Pleiadians.
Yeah. Listen, my personal opinion is that if we go to the top of that pyramid that we showed you, that we shared with you, right? That's who's at the top. Some other non-terrestrial life form, right? For whatever reason,
Right.
They like to eat us, whatever. If you just break it down to the
Right,
basics.
that would be under the Dracos, right?
Right.
The
The Draco
reptilians.
reptilians. So if that's the case, they have.
I don't even think it's an if anymore. I think it's.
Okay.
I hate to say it, but I think it's reality.
Right. So let's say we all believe that. So now they're telepathic. They're a hell of a lot bigger than us, right? They have weaponry that we don't. So to me, this good and evil is really a galactic thing,
Yeah.
because if look, what I've heard and what I understand is that nobody really wanted to interfere with what goes on Earth. However, because of the frequency, because of how that could affect the rest of the, let's say, galaxy and other planets, they opted that they had to come in and kind of help us, if you will. And so you could go back, in at least modern times, and go back to what Laura Eisenhower talks about with her great-grandfather, that he was working with Val Thor, and Val Thor was in the Pentagon for, a while and helping us and all this. So I think weaponry and the ability to help plan this and how to do it, I think we've been getting help, tremendous help. And
So
Trump
wasn't there
the head of the Earth Alliance?
Right. I mean, it's crazy. Wasn't there like a deal at some point where the Dracos would get like cattle and humans, something like that, right?
Yeah, people are talking about that. Wasn't that something to do with Eisenhower or someone else that had to sign an agreement that the Greys or whatever were allowed to take a certain amount of
I think it was the
humans?
Dracos. I think the
wasn't
Greys are like
Eisenhower.
henchmen or they're helpers or something.
Yeah, well, supposedly, according to Laura, because she'd done a lot of research, and she said her great-grandfather, because Eisenhower and even Sapioplex and JF thank you, were saying that he will probably go down in history as one of the greatest, presidents. It wasn't him who signed that agreement. They blamed it on him, but it was the MJ-12, the Majestic 12 in the military industrial complex who made that agreement with to whatever it was, take 1 million humans and all this kind of stuff.
Just tell me again, because I don't know, what is the MJ-12?
Majestic 12, they were like I guess if we want to say it in today's term, like the rogue bad part of the military.
They were the governmental department of alien technology and all things, a bit like the X-Files sort of thing, I imagine.
Right, it's like Men in Black.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
because we now are hearing there are men in black. They do what we saw in the movie. They do show up.
Someone anchored the sun just said a very nice thing.
Renee, it's been so effing awesome watching your awakening. I've been aching for this moment for years. I'm so grateful for the newly awakened and witnessing
it's true. It's
in real time. God bless. Yeah, thank you for that.
Thank you, Anchored. Yeah, it's really you look at everything differently. It's like, I walk around now. It's like to a different beat. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, look, there's so many. It's like I Love Bacon just said Jason Curious a big giant 300-some page thing on MJ-12. Ask him. Well, we would have asked him today. We've had to cancel our show with Jason later because he's driving Dean into the airport and he won't be back in time. But that's another thing. But anything that comes up like this.
Oh, by the way, guys, I might. Oh shit.
Yeah, anything that comes up.
I lost you.
Like this.
Oh, yes, that's it.
Like this Trump post. As soon as I see it, everyone that I watch and in this, X22 report, Josh Reed, Rambo and Dave, Abs and Stormy, everyone, Alpha Warrior, and they all do shows and they all decode these things. They look at it and then they take how many views it's got. When it was posted, they look for capital letters, they look for missing letters and all that and decode it. It's obviously too much for me to go into here, but you need to, as soon as you see something, Renee, and you think, oh my God, Trump's posted this, send me a message straight away. Go saying, what does it mean?
Yeah, I saw this. I was like, I got to talk to the guys about this. This is strange.
But what I'm saying to you is, as soon as you see something, send me it immediately in our WhatsApp chat. And then when I watch stuff over the next day, I will take snippets of what everyone's saying about it or give you timestamps and go listen to this and listen to that. Because it's all in my head and I've got too much in
really
there.
Cool. So what I'll do is I'll send you the message and I'll be like, WTF, question mark.
Yeah. Just you constantly do that because I'm constantly on it. Watching stuff. I get out the house every day. I go cycling, running, go to the gym and stuff like that. But a lot of the rest of the time, I am bang on it. Doing this or chatting to Elisa or doing stuff behind the scenes that we've got loads going on, haven't we, Elisa? Which is amazing.
Yeah, so much. So I just want to take this moment to say, like, I've been pretty outspoken on my podcast and, to other people too, that I'm going to switch gears a little, that part of the problem in this country is what they have done to men. Okay. Creating this war between men and women, putting this ridiculous narrative that there's this toxic masculinity,
it's annoying as hell. Because I tend to be masculine and I tend to be a little bit toxic.
No, don't use that word. Don't use that word.
Toxic. I tend to be kind of like demanding.
It doesn't matter. My point is that
I'm a guy. I mean,
yes,
that's what we do.
And that's what you're supposed to do. And men, listen, we're not talking about abusing women and children. We're not talking about assholes. We're talking about how God has made men to be the protector, to be the physically stronger sex, to be the one that's supposed to be protecting women and children so that women and children can do what their gifts are, right?
Yes.
And there's this narrative out there that is just trying to divide, because if you get rid of the men in a society, look at all the societies where they got rid of the men, it's left the women and the children vulnerable to whatever that is, slavery, rape, whatever. Yeah. So part of what the intention of the Awakening Summit here in New York is, when you look at a lot of the podcasts, when you look at a lot of what's going on, majority of who is watching this whole movie, this whole movement, it's been the women. And most of the time at these events, you get women. So what we're trying to do, we put a panel together at this event that I named the Alpha Male Warriors, and we're going to have panels with a lot of these podcasters and people that are out there that are so strong in the truther community. And we're like putting pleas. Stu and I did a radio interview yesterday to promote this. We're saying to women, bring your husbands, bring your brother, bring your sons. We need men to understand more what's going on. We need for them to understand the epidemic proportions that trafficking of humans and children is.
Right.
We need them to understand about election fraud, medical tyranny. So we need men at this event because
so let me tell you what's happened, and it's sad, but it's a real kind of like indictment of modern society. The men are out there, for the most part, doing everything in their power to survive and that their families survive. It consumes us.
By design.
When I was younger, I just started the firm. I used to tell people I would sleep on my elbow. What does that mean? It means I have so much stuff going through my brain to, how do I win? How do I make this thing happen? I couldn't even sleep. I would have to sleep on my elbow because I was between sleeping and being awake. We don't have the time. I mean, now I kind of have everything a little bit on autopilot, a little bit. But I still have to move. Like today I have a meeting with the British hedge funder, in Miami Beach. I have a meeting with, yesterday I was with people that, Elisa, without going into names, and these people are there. So it just, we're constantly trying to make it, financially, and the way they have set up this system with taxation. If I were to tell you how much money I am paying in taxes on Wednesday, you wouldn't believe me.
I would, and I tell you, got to talk to Payman to find out why 80
watch our
million people
interview
don't.
with
I understand, but I can't play that game, Elisa.
80 million people are not paying taxes in this country.
Elisa, I can't play that.
I'm not
I can't play
proposing anything to you. I'm agreeing with what you're saying, but men have time to go to bars and watch sports. Men spend hours looking at the scores and reading the sports page. So I can't take that as an excuse. I understand the system is rigged against you. I understand
you're right.
In the water to
right.
demasculinize men and affect their testosterone, but men need to get involved in a way that goes beyond, and they need to get over this ridiculous narrative that if they act like men, they're somehow toxic or anti-woman. It's just a ridiculous narrative. And as a woman, I'm sure I'm going to have a lot of haters, but I don't really give a shit.
What's happening is this. If a man forgets that he's a man, he stops acting like a man. And by attrition, he stops being a man. But the converse is also applicable, because the men are diminishing in their masculinity. The women, believe it or not, are rising in theirs. They're becoming tougher. They're becoming more manlike. They're becoming more offended. We don't like it when women get offended. We want to work together with women. We want it to be symbiotic. We want everything to be, dynamic. But, when we're afraid of what we're going to say to people, we're playing in the women's court. It used to be back in the day when I was a kid, I didn't care. I would say, I would use words, I would call everyone a retard. Everyone was a retard. And now if I say, excuse me, I won't stop using words that I always use, because I don't mean it like you're missing a chromosome. I don't mean it like in a bad way. I'm just saying that you're a retard. Stu, we
So,
understand each other as
well, yeah,
contemporaries?
a lot of us wouldn't use words like that for a while, but the more this has gone on, the more I use the word retard and
I love
retarded.
it. I don't care.
And let me
You
say
know,
what you just said about women. Let me tell you something. There's a faction of these white liberal women. I'm sure they're not all white, but these liberal women who are so lost as to what it means to be a woman and what it means. I mean, vilifying being a mother, a stay-home mother. You know, you're not living up to your best. I mean, one of the best arguments I love, I say that in quotes, is this narrative that they always tell young girls. Well, now, granted, I don't think it makes sense for a 16, 17-year-old to get pregnant, right? And you know, become a mother at that age for a whole multitude of reasons because you're not mature yet. However, this narrative of motherhood ruins your life, and it played right into the whole abortion thing that they wanted, right? So you got women who, you know, God forbid you love being a stay-at-home mom and taking care of your children and making dinner and keeping your home. You're an asshole. So women have to start realizing I can be strong. I can be a leader in my home. I can make the rules and I can raise strong children, and I can still be soft and feminine and a caretaker.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay that my husband is physically stronger. Listen, a guy doesn't know. These women who say, I don't need someone opening a door for me, I don't need someone paying. I say,
Silly.
if you don't let a
Silly.
man be a man, then
Silly.
there's something wrong with you. So men have to start realizing the people that made these rules and these ridiculous ways of insulting women, they have to start getting over it and saying.
So I was at a restaurant the other day, and you know, I saw this, you know, nice couple, like nice looking young couple. And I was like, all right, dude, good job. And then at the end, he looks at her and she whips out her credit card. And you could tell it was a first date, a first or
Really?
second date. I was like, bro, what's wrong with you? I felt like going over there and paying for both of them. It's like, no, I got it. It's like, you idiot. What's wrong with you? What are you doing? She's got enough stuff to worry about.
Well, she's an idiot too. Because if I went out on a date and someone said, are you paying? I'd say no.
No, but she might be the twisted bitch that says, I could pay too.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of this.
No offense to everyone with twisted bitch.
No, I'm just getting offended here. Men should rise in their power, as women should rise in their power. But the push, a lot of this push for feminism and the women to rise in their power in a certain way to look down upon men and all these sorts of things is a cabal operation to destroy the family.
It is
the atomic family.
The way to do it is everyone rises together. Like everyone's important. We're all important, but we're different. Thank God.
Oh my God. So I'll tell you a little story about your little worker, who happens to be my daughter. A couple of years ago, you know, we always had dinner together, the three of us, and we were talking, and they were giving me a lesson in, I don't know what the word was at the time, misogyny or whatever they were telling me. And so we're having this conversation, and
I guess they learned a new word.
And I said, they were saying about men and, you know, why do they have to pay and all this? And they were saying it. I said, I'll tell you what. I said, let's wait till you start dating and let's have this conversation again. Right. And they're toxically masculine. And I was getting all this stuff. I said, okay, of course she starts dating. And then it's like, well, I mean, if he's not going to pay and he's not going to open the door, I said, really, when did this happen? Right. And what kind of man does she find that she's dating now? Polite, respects her as a woman.
I love that dude.
Door. Like,
that's a good dude.
But they were being brainwashed. You know what I'm trying to say? They were listening to the narratives on all these ridiculous social medias and the television shows that portray this. And so
listen, you know, so it's all theoretical, right? So in theory, they believed in it. So, but in reality, when they're confronted with it, that's not what they want. So look, so there is a great philosopher in our time. You may not know who he is. Mike Tyson.
I agree.
So Mike Tyson, the great philosopher, said, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face.
Yeah.
So when they go out on these dates and they're confronted with the reality of, oh shit, I only worked 20 hours at the summer camp. If I pay for this meal, shit, half my salary. Thank you.
Yeah.
Becomes a lot easier and also more natural, because we're out there freaking killing ourselves.
Yeah.
But we're designed to do it. We're designed to go out there and kill ourselves. I mean, this might not be in any way politically correct, but I don't give a shit.
Right.
Because it's the truth. We're designed to get abused. We're designed to work 80 hours a week. We can take it and smile. Women aren't. Women are designed for other torture. We each have our own cross to bear, and they're both equally important.
Yeah.
If people look at it like that, then everyone is happy.
Yeah. And I'm not saying in any way, because there are some brilliant business women out there.
Sure.
And I'm not saying one negates the other, but what I'm saying is you can be true to your intellectual God-given gifts. If it means you're in business, if it means you're an entrepreneur, if it means you're a wonderful nurse, whatever career you choose, but it doesn't mean at the expense of throwing away your femininity and who you are as a woman. And by the same token, it doesn't mean because you're so forceful in the world as a man that when you come home, yes, you're going to be gentle and loving, but that you lose your masculinity and become someone who isn't part of the fight.
Right. You know, and nothing is ever perfect. It isn't. There's always like a give and take. There's gray here. There's some gray, but the core has to remain. And another thing I wanted to share with you, that it's a little bit related, that there are 3 things that you can't have like a 100 score on. No one can have it. You can't have it. So the 3 things are friends, business, family. It's like a chair of 3 things. No one can have a 100 score of all 3. You can't. It's impossible, because something has to give. And you could apply that same thing to the dynamic between men and women. The women can't have all the men attributes, the men can't have all the women attributes, but for things to work the best, they should each maximize what they all do well. Yeah. And in business, that's the number 1 rule in business. Do what you do well. Because if you don't do what you do well, your neighbor down the road is doing what he does well, and he'll outcompete you and you'll be out of business. So do what you do well. There's no shame in that.
No.
I'm just going to lighten it up for a sec. I'm just going to show you a quick 30-second video of a feminist, one of my absolutely favourite.
Oh, can't wait to see this.
And then I'm going to show you a meme straight after.
Companies can pay women less. Yes. Why don't they hire all women?
Well, that's a whole nother story.
Really?
I understand your argument, and I understand that you're angry.
I'm not angry.
I can hear it in your voice.
I'm not angry.
Your voice.
I'm hearing my voice, and I sound pretty calm.
You have now shifted the quality of your voice, and I think.
Okay.
And you've just given me a condescending look, and that's another reason why we need feminism.
But I have sunglasses on.
Yeah, there's no idea as a woman how that enrages.
That's quality, and I'll just show you one of definitely mine and Elisa's favourite meme of the year.
That's really freaking funny. Oh, yeah.
The word retard is not meant for people with handicaps. It's meant for non-handicapped people who are stupid. If you don't understand this, you're a retard.
Duh. Of course.
And Elon Musk tweeted exactly to that.
I love it, man. So true. That was Elon? Elon said that?
So have you guys seen this video? I saw it on X. I think I copied it to my Telegram channel, Awaken Patriots of Long Island, but it shows the old and the new. Stu, have you seen it? Like it's
Well, why don't you just forward it to me quickly?
Okay, let me send it to you. This is interesting. And then I know you're on limited time, but I just want to show you guys this because I think it'll blow the minds of some people. Just, you guys talk while I'm finding this.
I love to read the comments. And here is English Hawk. Indian families stay together from the youngest to the elders. That's kind of like the way it used to be with everyone. In Europe, you would have generations. So I went to I think I was like 24 or 25 years old. I was in law school. Did my third year of law school at the University of Miami. And I flew with my friend and my brother to Madrid. And we went to a place called Salamanca, which is where a very ancient university is. And you go out at night because that's the thing that the Spanish do. They're known for eating late. Stu, I know a lot of Brits go to Spain for vacation, for a holiday. And what you noticed was amazing. So in La Marcha is like when everyone goes out. Like it's like they go like almost like on a bar crawl. Except in Spanish culture, you have the tapas. So you have your tapas, you go to your drinks. You know what you would see? You would see every generation going out together. And I looked at this. I'm like, man, this is beautiful. And I'm like 24, 25 years old. I'm like, this is incredible. This is the way it's supposed to be. Because why should the older people get cut out from all the fun? And the young people need to learn how to have fun in a good way from people that are older than them. Yeah. So this is how it should be. Like they literally go out into the street and they march. It's called La Marcha. They go to the first tapas bar. They have some wine. They have some cheese, whatever, and then they go to the next place. Then they all meet up and everyone knows each other. And I was like, we are not doing this right in the United States.
Well, I will tell you one thing that I was so impressed with your family, quite honestly, because I didn't have that in my family. You guys, like the generations, like to see Georgia's mom babysitting and hanging out during the week with her great grandchildren, and then your mom, her sister, and her your mom, her sister-in-law, and then her sister, all like you guys have that down really well. And I think it stems from the fact that when everybody came from Cuba, they were together, they lived together, they shared.
Well, we all lived in the same house.
Yeah, I
so
think
that house that in Howard Beach, that was my house.
Yeah.
I live there.
Yeah, more people need to have that extended family. That's well, what do we do? Like who came up with this idea that you had to send your kids away? I'm not saying it's not good or it doesn't help, but then what happens? Chances are you send your kid to Ohio, they're going to get a job, they're going to stay there. Like it breaks the family apart,
It's not just that as well. It's the elderly people in certain countries are put in nursing homes. Because people haven't got the time. Whereas in a lot of countries, they don't do that. That's the last thing they would ever do. You live in the house with all the family until you die. That's how it should be. Now, Lisa, terrible. You said you were sending me a video.
I put it in the WhatsApp. What?
You sent me a tweet of Putin's face.
No, it's a video, isn't it?
No, it's not. No. You need to, if you're going to send me anything, send it on Telegram if you're on Telegram.
Okay, maybe that was.
This is what you sent me.
Okay, you're right. It's because Putin was in the video that I was looking for. I'm so bad at this. I'm sorry.
I mean, guys, Putin, I guess, is like a really good guy then.
Well look at that picture.
I think.
I've just deleted it. Let me just find that again. Right? Yeah. That is not the original Putin. I've got videos of Putin being arrested.
You're right. There you go. Yeah, those are different people. There's no question.
I mean, they have no question. Face a bit on the right. If I'm
listen, I'm not a gay man, but Those are two different dudes.
Yeah,
exactly.
Those
And
are two
anyway,
different
so
dudes.
to your point, I can't find it because I'm a retard, but the film
But
was showing
you're my retard.
they
what
were
is there a video of? And how long was it?
it was like, I don't know, a
Let
minute.
me just give instructions
Yeah.
here because
So
I
it
need
was
to
a
be.
video that showed the side by sides. It showed Putin and the Putin now. It showed Elon Musk and the Elon Musk now. And it was just filled with some other, like, text. But my point is, we were talking about the movie. And I thought that was a very good, like, it even showed Charlie Ward, the original Charlie Ward.
Oh,
and
yes, but, I've seen that picture. This is the original Charlie Ward and this is new Charlie Ward. But who knows that?
No, we don't. But I'm just saying they showed Elon Musk too. They showed the old Elon Musk and the current Elon Musk. So to the point of what we were talking about, if any of these people were bad, right? Because we've heard good and bad about them, they're controlled and their persona is now that of good. Yeah. That was the point I was just trying to make. Because if you look at those two dudes, they're different people.
So I've decided, without telling my daughter, that if she goes, like, she's got a couple schools that she's applying to. She got a very good SAT. I know you know this, Elisa. Yeah. She did really well.
Congratulations.
So she's applying to two schools, one of which this plan will not apply, and the other one it will apply. So if she gets into Georgetown University, then without me telling her, I will get an apartment in DC near her. Mm-hmm. And we will kind of like be there a little bit without telling her, a little bit. And then that will deal with that. Like, it's just, it's like, oh no, we're down at the apartment, we're down at the apartment. We'll get like an apartment. It's like basic apartment, in DC, and be like, no, we're down at the apartment. I will not do that for the University of Michigan. I don't need to be in Michigan. It's fine. So that's like, I totally agree. It's like, but I don't want her to study in New York. I want her to go, but I want to be able to still be there for her, but also be here for our son.
Right.
Right. So the way I figured out in my brain was like, okay, I'll get an apartment for us that we can go visit sometimes, and like we'll be there, and then she'll like do her thing, but like she'd go have dinner with us or something.
Right. Right.
Because what they do now is they hit 18, they just kind of like kick them out the door. It's like, it's sad.
Well, it's not even that. If you think about it, they're infantilized at these colleges today. They're not even treated like adults. I mean, right. And they're indoctrinated, and I don't know. And I'm not against going away. I mean, I went away, but I was in the Bronx.
When I went to school, it was different. It really was different. When I went to school, it toughened me up. Like in the first 2 weeks, I was not well. I was not well when I was in school. And I was only 3.5 hours from my family. And I was like, how am I going to get through this? And you kind of get used to it. You kind of, deal with it. And it actually, in the end, it made me better. I made lifelong friends. I was able to have like my first like adult relationship, and it was like great. And I was able to take on, intense exams, like intense scoring, and the pressure of maintaining a certain grade point average to get into law school, and everything you had to do to, to go on a certain track. Mm-hmm. So for me, it worked eventually. But that first semester,
wow,
it was hard. It was hard to not be in your community. I knew everyone, like everyone in my town, everyone. And then to not be in that environment was hard.
Yeah.
But what it does, it kind of like makes you more adaptable, if that makes sense. So you're like, you're hammered into adaptability because you're put into such a strange environment. So if you think of it like that, it's probably a good thing to make you more successful because you can now exist outside of your comfort zone. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because life in business is being outside of your comfort zone all the time. You're dealing with so many personalities, so many variables, so much lunacy that if you only know comfort in what you know, you can't take on this madness that's called adult life.
Yeah.
It's red pill RENE theory.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was muted there. Fancy a bit of sheep whispering.
Oh, do you want to? Did he ever see them?
Have you not seen that?
Oh, by the way, I did see some videos that you sent me. I didn't do zero homework.
Okay.
I saw the Hillary Clinton Nephilim with Iraq.
Yeah.
I thought that was insane. And that made me think, oh, that's got something to do with why we're in Iran. Has to be.
Stargates.
Something like that. Yeah, Stargates, something.
You've only got to listen to Jason and Jason Q and many other people as well, just to realise how deep this goes, how little we actually do know. Even Elisa and I in our research, that it just goes so deep that it is so shocking. I mean, what if you find out the child trafficking is not the worst thing?
Lisa,
yes.
Why do you think we're in Iran? I want to ask you, and I want to ask Stu, and I want to know if you both have the same reason.
Well, I think,
but Stu, kind of like close your ears. Because you're both truthers, but you're both individuals.
Well, we have discussed this many times as well, haven't we?
No, I know, but you could still have your own opinion. It's like, I want to know what you think.
Okay, multitude of reasons, I believe, from the peace standpoint. If we understand what Nasara is all about, and that one of the the points of Nasara is that we need to have world peace, right? Governments have to be at peace with their people, and the world needs to be at peace, right? Just take that little tiny aspect. Then we look at what Trump has been doing all around the world to get peace, right? So if we're in some of these countries, some of these areas, it means that they're not so agreeable to peace, meaning they're deep state, right? Or they weren't, because I think we're watching theater, or they weren't. So we had to go in and convince their deep state, this isn't going to work. This isn't going to happen. If we look at it financially, we could say, well, there's a lot of issues to the banking system and taking that down, and these particular strongholds or proxy states, right? Because we know that Iran was used in many ways, as a proxy state, a place for a lot of things to happen. And then if you look at it from the perspective of, and so we had to dismantle that system within there without destroying infrastructure, right? Because that doesn't help anyone. If you had a rogue government that was controlled by the cabal, whether it be through the banking system, which is usually how it happens, through the control of oil and things that affect the economy, you have to get rid of them so that we can now ensure that those people are safe, that those people can run their own country, and that they're going to live peacefully with the rest of the world. Then you go into what I would call the next level. And we've heard rumors, not only just from, truthers and podcasters, but from, military people who don't come out and say it just like that, but they've made a lot of inferences. These are generals and leaders in the military, that there is something to that area, a Stargate, a portal. Maybe these portals are used to leave the planet, right? So they want to control them so these assholes can't leave and then come back to bother us. Maybe there's more that we don't even understand. And I do believe it also has to do with a lot of the trafficking that we see, whether it be the tunnels or it be the infrastructure that they have there for doing the trafficking of children. So I think it's a multitude of reasons, but I also do believe that we're watching something that's done.
Stu.
Yes, everything she said. Right, I'll see you later.
Didn't you listen to the part of the show about
so basically
feminine masculine dynamics?
There are certain places on the planet that have been cabal strongholds. Ukraine, Iran, 47 years. Isn't it funny that the 47th president ended a 47
What are you doing to me, man? What are you doing to me?
Just quiet. 47th president ended a 47-year dictatorship on the 7th of the 4th, 47.
Stop it. Please stop.
Well, in fact, in America, you say it the other way around. It is 47.
Right.
47, 47, 47. Surely another coincidence. Now, Trump did his capitulation tour, right? All the countries that capitulated. I said a while ago, didn't I? You need to look at the countries that didn't capitulate. Iran, Cuba, Venezuela. We are seeing all these things.
North Korea.
Right? It's potentially not just about Iran, but it's what's underneath Iran. Elisa mentioned sort of tunnels, and we don't know whether that's a massive child trafficking hub, all those sorts of things. Cuba, Venezuela. And it's not just about ending its dictatorship. It's the cabal have been using Iran and this oil as a worldwide weapon to maintain control through the city of London, which is why we're seeing this stuff between Trump and the Lloyds of London, right? So it is just, whether there's Stargates over there as well, whether it's they've been rescuing children over there, potentially they've been in these tunnels rescuing people, and they used the stuff of a war above to hide what they're actually doing underneath. You have to take all these things into consideration. But Iran has been run by nasty fuckers, right? Dictators.
So is the root of all this? Is it the old British Empire?
Probably, yeah.
Because I'm thinking back. So as a kid, one of my favorite movies was Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Right? So Indiana Jones had to do with the British Empire's reach into 1940s, like Egypt and like, different places where they had relics, right? So I think maybe they were telling us, Spielberg was telling us in that movie is like, yeah, there are these relics, including like the Ark of the Covenant, I guess like portals and stuff that connects us to something otherworldly. Like this is like power.
If you go back and watch any of these old movies you watched as a kid or whatever, or 10, 20, 30 years ago, you will see them all with new eyes now. Nazis, it's no coincidence, is it? Trump's just got a Ark of the Covenant at Mar-a-Lago, I think.
Right.
People are talking about, is it the real one? Is it not? Because there's meant to be 4, isn't there, I think?
Yeah, I think there's supposedly 4. And, I'm going to say something that's probably going to be so politically incorrect, but it's a theory. I'm not saying this. I have been watching Woody Allen movies. Okay, now we've heard, he married his stepdaughter. She was
Suni.
The adoptive Suni, the daughter of Andre Previn and
Mia Farrow.
Mia Farrow, thank you. Okay, but I'm watching these movies lately, and I'm noticing that he doesn't really portray things in a liberal way in his movies. He's very politically incorrect. He says things, his view of things is very what I would call more traditional, okay? And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, could it be, he's an actor, he's a director, he's a writer, could it be that he was part of this narrative to bring out what Hollywood really is all about, and this agenda of pedophilia? And the other night I watched one of his movie Hollywood Endings. I had never seen it, but he said something, and I can't quite get my hands around this. One of the lines, the whole movie was like, you know, one of the lines is the girl in the movie says to him, it's like his girlfriend, and she says, I can't not show up at she's like in an off Broadway play. And he's like, you don't have to go, come with me. And she's like, what if Spielberg is in the audience that night? Or what if Harvey Weinstein is in the audience? And he says, now they didn't make a big deal about it, but it does turn out that it's kind of like Passover time, but you don't hear about it till later in the movie. He says, no, those guys are fasting. Now, I don't know what that means. I don't know. We didn't know it was Passover at the time in the movie till much later, but I thought it was interesting. Those two names, I thought it was interesting. Fasting. What does that really mean?
Right.
And could it be that this is a good guy playing a bad role?
Right. So fasting could be like, oh, they're not eating children today.
Exactly.
Fuck me.
I don't know. Again, that's like a deep, but it just made me think. I was telling George, I was like, what if he's really not a bad guy? And this was all a big show.
It's all so engrossing. It's a lot. It's a lot because it spans over so much time. This has been going on forever.
Yeah, I want to see when this movie. It was 2002 that movie was made.
What movie is that, Elisa? Say that again.
Hollywood Ending.
Right. Yeah. Don't forget as well that all this stuff with Iran is actually bringing Obama back into the spotlight of what he did when he sent 1.7 billion of cash to Iran. Right. This is all coming round. The problems in Iran is coming back round to the swamp and that fucker.
So I kind of have to go, unfortunately. I have court, but I learned this the other day. And this is wild. I won't tell you how I learned it, but I learned it. There are countries throughout the world that literally have pallets of US dollars. And you can buy these pallets of US dollars at a discount. Didn't know that was a thing. So if you need like an extra $20 million, you could probably buy it cash, 20 million cash. You could probably buy it for like Tether or a wire transfer for like $18 million. Did you know that? I did not know this.
Well, I'm sure
we are learning every day.
We are learning every day. That is the whole point of this. You will never know everything until
we are learning
it's all revealed to us.
I was like, wait a second. It's $20 million. It should be 20 million. I was like, no, but it's cash. You have to store it. You have to explain it. You need to deal with moths. You need to make sure it doesn't decompose. So there's a discount. Really?
Remember Charlie Ward in the old days? That's all he used to talk about. He used to make deals moving cash around the world. Pallets.
It's a thing, apparently. Had no idea. Guys.
Love you, man.
Love you. I will talk to you later. We have to talk about your uncle.
Absolutely. See you guys.
Okay,
thank you all. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Cheers, mate. Bye.
Bye.
Couple of has he gone? Let's get rid of him. Trump walked across the border with that North Korean guy, Rocket Man. Yes, he did, because that was a cabal stronghold as well until Trump and the military took it back. But if anyone remembers that, when Trump walked over, DMZ, you call it, don't you? I think into from the DMZ to go North Korea.
Yep.
He took 17 steps.
Oh, did he? That I didn't know. Before
he turned around. So you can watch the video and count his steps, and he takes 17 steps and turns around. And English Short said, I heard Gilgamesh is there. They're trying to negotiate a peaceful way for him and his followers to leave. Very interesting.
Very
There's so much to it, and everyone's input is, 117% valid, isn't it? Because we're all trying to find the truth together.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of Kim in Korea, that way he walked to Trump and the facial happy expression and did not look like a guy who was trying to nuke the US. It looked like a guy who was being saved and happy to see Trump. And we've heard
Epstein didn't kill himself, don't you?
Shit, I pressed the wrong button there, sorry.
So I would venture to say that the rumors we've heard about how he was, meaning Trump, was in touch with him and talking to him, and they forged a relationship, and then he goes over there, are probably true. Because like I said, look at the pictures of the Pope, look at the pictures of these other people that, quote, capitulated, and then you look at Little Rocket Man. He looks pretty darn happy to see Trump, and therefore I would say he was being held hostage by the cabal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, that's another great show. We might as well have a little early shoot, mightn't we? What do you want to play as the outro?
What I want to play? Well, I love the one you played yesterday. We did talk a lot about the trafficking. That's a really great video. Yeah, I don't know. Want to play that one?
Yeah, all right. Let me just move that and I'll add that. That is there. Yeah, so that's it. Right. What's tomorrow, people? We would love to see you. You don't have to show your face. Come and have a chat. This is my story, English Short, Miss C, I Love Bacon, Nanfit at 13, Coco Bear and Dizzy. There's plenty of people in there. If you want to come on and join me and Elisa tomorrow, we will be doing our Patriots Across the Pond family chat. That's 3 p.m. UK time, 10 a.m. Eastern. The StreamYard link will be posted at the top of the Rumble chat for it. And it's already been posted all over Telegram and on our Instagram page and various other places. So we'd love to see some of you come and join us for a bit of a waffle on Saturday session. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you, guys. Thanks for the kind words for Renee. Thanks for the kind words for us. We love you. We appreciate you. And I hope we get a few more of you on the show tomorrow. That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, because otherwise it would just be you and I. Mind you, that's never happened, does it?
No.
The first one we did 45 minutes on our own, and then Brett joined in, and which was great. And then we've had people since. So it's great. Yeah, we love you all. Where we go, when we go all. And hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. Man up, woman up, and where we go, when we go all.
The last to fall. I won't shed a tear for them to see. And I won't have your name to call. 'Cause I will be the last to fall.